Hey, everybody. Welcome to the All Things Gratitude Podcast, Super Bowl edition. My name is Nick Dorsey, and today's guest, he was drafted in 2003 by Jacksonville. Also played for Baltimore, Buffalo, and Tennessee. When he was in Tennessee, he wore the best number ever, 69. He has a sibling brother named Jonathan who played in the NFL he was pretty decent. So please welcome to the show my friend and buddy, Marques Ogden. What's up, man? How you doing in Viva Las Vegas?
I'm doing well, Nick. Other than cutting myself shaving this morning, I'm doing just fine.
Well, that's the first world problems for us men who shave all the time. So, I mean, it happens. So, man, let's get down to it because I know we got a little time frame this morning because of everything you got going on. Because your business is just freaking going crazy right now. So that's awesome. First question, man, since, you got the NFL knowledge, let's talk about the GOAT. We got the young GOAT and the old GOAT. I mean, how impressive is it what Tom Brady has done this year, coming from where everybody said he's in a system, it's Bill Belichick, this is all he can play. He's been in the league for, 21, 22, 23 years, goes to Tampa Bay, basically turns Bruce Arians around because that guy is a pretty big ego. Changed the culture of that place, and look where they're at now, man. That's just, to me, it's insane. It's just crazy.
Well, it all starts with a player's ability to come into an organization and make a better culture. One of my favorite quotes is by Mahatma Gandhi: "The culture rests in the hearts and souls of the people of the organization." And that's what's happening now. I mean, I tell everybody, Tampa was not a really good football team last year. They were okay. They were average to below average, maybe even in that regard. But Tom Brady's have been able to come in. Now, of course, he's brought some great players. Rob Gronkowski, he's brought in. They went and picked up Antonio Brown. They've had some phenomenal players come in. But it all starts with that person's ability to be able to really set the tone. And if you're not a quarterback who's a natural leader, especially in a new team, you're going to have really hard problems getting everybody just to fit into your culture. And that's exactly why Tampa Bay is doing so well now. It's just like a business, right? So if a new person comes in, a new CEO, a new COO, they come in like yelling and ranting and raving and screaming and barking out orders, that's going to happen. But if you have somebody comes in that's very calm, very docile, that's very good at just having good conversation, then you got something special. So that's kind of what happened with the Patriots. With the Buccaneers.
Yeah. It's just crazy because all I heard was it's Bill Belichick. Don't tell him he's a great coach. I'm not taking that away from him, but it just shows the level of where Tom Brady really was at. I just leave it right there. It's just insane.
Well, I tell everybody, Bill Belichick is one of the best strategists I've ever seen in the National Football League. But I tell everybody, Tom Brady is the best execution I've ever seen in the National Football League. So a strategist can only get you so far if you're not going to actually go ahead and have an executioner on the field, that's actually putting on the pads and getting everybody around the team to get fired up. If you don't have that, you're not going to win.
Yeah. It's not bad for the 199th pick, and his combine picture is hilarious looking at him. I mean, he doesn't even look like he's a football player. He's just like there, So, I mean, just amazing what he's put his body through to what he's committed to himself and the game. I mean, it's insane. So it's really impressive, especially being in a position where I know now, quarterbacks don't get hit like they used to, but he still gets drilled quite a bit, So being in a position that his body's getting beat up too. I mean, it's impressive.
Football. It's football.
It's impressive.
That's what it is. It's football at the highest degree. So you cannot take the punishment, the pounding, the beating. You're not gonna last. So that's just what I've always felt, and I know the game for many, many reasons for many, many years. And if you can't take the pounding, you won't make it.
So what about Patrick Mahomes, man? This dude's insane. Athletic ability, his arm strength. A couple of years back, his rookie season, they were playing in Seattle, and people don't know I have season tickets to the Seahawks, so I went there early just to watch pregame, just to watch him because of all the stuff they were talking about it. He did this throw, Marcus. He was in pregame, just coming across the 50-yard line, going to his left, throwing sidearm, and he threw a pellet into the back corner of the end zone, maybe 10 feet off the ground. I was like, dude, that's impossible. Sidearm and everything. I was like, dude, this dude, it's done. Dude's awesome. I was just like, damn.
Well, it's interesting. So our longtime family friend Lee Steinberg is his agent, which I
Hmm.
didn't know that Lee Steinberg represented his father, who's a baseball player, which I
Yep.
didn't know that, which I think is awesome. And so I've got a chance to watch Mahomes, when he was drafted to the NFL. And luckily for him, he had a really good veteran in Alex Smith, who's able to kind of give him some knowledge and really welcome him into the Kansas City. As a result of that, he wasn't rushed. He wasn't put out in the field too soon, and he had a chance to learn and perfect his craft. And now he's one of the, if not the best, quarterback in the National Football League. And like I was talking about this earlier today, I was playing poker downstairs. I said, he's a phenomenal player, but he also got very fortunate to have some phenomenal football players like Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill, Hartman. I mean, they've got just a powerhouse offense. And, he's got a really good coach. I mean, Andy Reid's been a great coach for many years. I mean, with the Eagles, and he's been around and has done very well with a winning pedigree. So to me, Patrick Mahomes is a great situation. He has a great opportunity. And now it's time for him to make the decision. Is he going to go and be great and do everything he needs to do? And that just comes from hard work, dedication, and making the decision that you're going to be a pro in everything you do.
I love the fact that you brought up Alex Smith. I mean, that dude's gone through some bad luck in the league. He's gone through some, oh my God, I'm surprised he's even playing after the injury he went through. But I mean, dude's a good quarterback, and he doesn't get credit for it. I mean, he just does what he needs to do. So, and like you said, he's really helped out. He really helped out Patrick a lot that first year. So I think that's a good shout out. I think a lot of people don't realize that, who don't understand football truly, what really goes on. Backup quarterbacks sometimes are amazing for the starters because, it's the right-hand man a lot of times, especially the old veterans.
Mm-hmm. And that's really what it is. It's an old veteran trying to help a young person move efficiently throughout the whole process of being an NFL quarterback or an NFL player. It doesn't matter what position it is, doesn't matter what team it is. That's the mindset that you have to have going forward, is that you're going to always find ways to better your craft depending upon, what veteran can give you a hand.
So let's talk about keys to the game, man. Your keys to the game. I think defensive line is a big key to the game for both teams. They're pretty talented. So what do you think is a big key to the game that's going to, if you pick Kansas City or Tampa Bay, what's going to take them over the top?
So I took Kansas City, but it's going to be a real battle. Kansas City has three, at least I know Eric Fisher's out for sure. I don't know about, I think they said the center might be out and then their right guard might be out. And so if you have three starting linemen out, that's going to really be hard for the Chiefs to handle, because they do have a very good D line with Shaq Barrett and with Jason Pierre-Paul with the Bucs. Ndamukong Suh is not once what he was, but he's still an above average D tackle. They have a very good front seven. Their middle linebacker for the Bucs has a really good presence. He gets a lot of great side to sideline sprinting and running. He's also a great open field tackler. So what's going to have to happen for the Chiefs is their backup linemen are going to have to do the best they can to keep a wide pocket. Now, if you ever watch football and you ever want to watch D-line, the D-line's job is to push vertical. So take a look at, like, in math, right? So the D-line's job is to go vertical as much as possible. And then what I like to tell my D-linemen, you want to rush 45 degrees off the tackles or guards outside shoulder, and then you want to press and turn 90. So a lot of times, a lot of defensive players rush up the field 90. Yeah, the Bucs suck. So, a lot of times they rush upfield 90, then they turn 45. And what happens there is the tackles and guards can run around the pocket and not have to create that sense of, the quarterback has to step up. But great D linemen like Jason Pierre-Paul, they rush at a 45-degree angle. So they're taking the tackle's outside shoulder, putting their inside shoulder to a leverage position, trying to basically get the edge. And then once they're at the edge, they're pressing for about 1.5 steps. Then they're turning and pushing their body at a 90-degree angle to shorten up that lane to the quarterback. So, it's really important for the tackles to take them horizontal out away. So I don't know if they're going to be able to do that effectively for Kansas City with having their backup linemen in. It's going to be really hard because they have two really good DNs with Tampa. On the other side, you have Frank Clark. You've got some phenomenal players, on that side with Kansas City that are good rushers. You got Chris Jones, who's a good upfield. He's probably one of the better D tackles in football for playing the run and the pass. So there's going to be a lot of things that has to happen. And Tampa Bay's offensive line, they're not bad, but the thing is, Tom Brady's not mobile anymore. So they're going to have to do a really hard job of that. So I would give the edge to the D line winning the battle with the Bucks, and I would have to give the edge to I guess I would say, the O-line play is going to probably end up going to Tampa. So I think Tampa's going to win the battle, on both sides. I think their D-line is going to be better, even though the Kansas City's good. I think it's going to be much better with the Bucks, but I think the Bucks O-line will also do better, for them because all their starters, from what I understand, are playing in the game.
Yeah, Eric Fisher, that's huge. That's a huge loss. I mean, left tackle. That's not a position you want to lose before the biggest game of the year.
No, it's not.
Not at all. But I think the big key to it is how well the backup players can play to let Patrick Mahomes just have that little extra split second because of the speed of the receivers. If they're right on him right away, that might be tough. But if he can just sit there just for a split second, those receivers are so fast. I mean, speed does kill when it gets to that point. I mean, you give them that couple extra, what's it, 2.5 seconds they want to get a ball off in, something like that. I mean,
yeah, it's about 3 to 4. You're looking for about 3 to 4. You're looking for about 3 to 4 seconds, give or take.
So if he gets that 4.5 seconds,
oh yeah, he's fine.
It's game over then.
Yeah, he's gonna be fine. If he gets that, they're gonna be absolutely fine. So yeah. One of my clients was talking about how Jason Pierre-Paul will get a little bit of pressure first 3 quarters, but then the last quarter he'll get a lot of pressure. One of my clients thinks he'll get 3 sacks in the fourth quarter. I don't know about that. That's a lot of sacks in 1 quarter, but we'll find out. But again, Tampa definitely has the advantage on both sides of the ball. O-line play is because they're healthier, and then D-line because I think, again, Kansas City has a good D-line, but I think the Bucks have the edges are much better for the Bucks, and their interior is just about, well, Chris Jones is better than Nanda Pursuit, but it doesn't balance out to make it where it's an even match on the D-line side.
So by your client, I'm assuming that client's going for Tampa Bay then, because three sacks in the fourth quarter, that means it's either a really, really close game or Kansas City's behind because they're throwing a lot. So that's an interesting prediction. So
yeah, my client went, I think he went $34.27, or one of my clients did.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I know the Super Bowl is going to be different because it's only going to have 12,000 fans or something like that. It's a very low number.
It's like 20% capacity, I think it is, like that.
But it is another strange year because a home team's actually hosting it. So that's where I kind of feel bad for Tampa Bay. The 1 year a home team actually hosts it, you can't have all the fans there.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it is. But
that's pretty wild.
It is, man. So normally, do you go down to the Super Bowl on a normal year, or
yeah? I mean, normally I will go down to Super Bowl, see some old teammates, go to some different events. Go to some different, I'm not a big partier anymore. I don't go to stuff to party and hang out. I go there to network and to look for business opportunities and to do business type of discussions. But yeah, I've gone to Super Bowl, many times just to go. I mean, when I was playing, I would always go. And if I didn't go, which I never went, but a lot of my teammates would sell their tickets, to different people. Again, this year, it's I know all the players got tickets, but I don't know how many guys got more than just 2 because of all the craziness with COVID, all that stuff kind of hanging in the air.
One thing I do say when the Super Bowl's down here in Arizona, unfortunately, we threw the ball on the 2-yard line, so giving to Marshawn. But the NFL does put on the NFL experience at the Super Bowl is absolutely amazing. So if anybody has the opportunity to check that out or go to it, it is a very fun event, but it's busy. There's a lot going on, but it is a good time. I mean, it's absolutely a good time, and it's well worth it to at least experience it once in your life if you're a huge football fan. So,
yeah, absolutely. The tickets are very expensive. I mean, you're probably talking anywhere between 8 to 20 grand, or maybe as high as 25, depending upon where you want to sit, how far down you want to be. So you're looking at $8 to $25,000 for per ticket. So it's not cheap at all. As a matter of fact, I tell people all the time, the game for me is, of course, the halftime show is awesome, but the game for me is not the most important part, because as a former player, I'm like, I can watch it on TV. I can see a lot more. I'm going for networking experiences. So if you're looking for someone, if you're someone that's really excited about getting out, seeing things, seeing different sites, meeting different people, the Super Bowl is great. The game, it's a lot of fun to watch, but again, it's very, very expensive. So make wise decisions if you're trying to go to a game, for sure.
Yeah. I mean, I'd rather sit at a bar at home with a bunch of friends and enjoy that aspect of it that way, just because, like you said, just the cost to get in, all the stuff that goes on. I mean, halftime's double the length of normal. It's just longer in general. And if you're down there partying all morning, then you go to the game and doing that, it's a long day.
It is. Oh man, I did that when I was 19. My brother went to the Super Bowl and won it with the Ravens to beat the Giants. I mean, that was in Tampa, and I went and I party all. But I was 19 years old. I mean, I partied, went out, hung out, all that stuff. But again, I had no responsibilities. I was in college. I was a football player. I had a blast. I could come home at like 4 a.m. and go out and get up at like 11 or 12 because I'm 19 years old. So now today at 40, no, it's not gonna happen. It's I mean, like, I'm in Vegas right now. Every night I go to bed at like 9 o'clock. This time I'm up at like 1, 4 hours sleep, because I'm just throwing off with the time zones. It's just so crazy different, and I can't get more than 4 hours sleep. So yeah, I mean, like I have this thing today. It's an all-day mastermind. So I have the house all day. I'm actually going to reshape so I don't hopefully cut myself again. Do all that, and then we're gonna go after that, coming back to the hotel. Then tomorrow, get up, go ride dune buggies on the other side of Vegas, and hang out with some of those very, very successful business owners. Then watch the Super Bowl at this, very successful individual's house in Summerlin, about maybe 10 minutes from the Strip. And then I had to do a podcast Monday, then come home. So, I've been here since Thursday, been working and all this different stuff. But I tell you, man, I got no time for like all the hangouts and all that stuff. The Super Bowl for me is not about that anymore.
Hey, you're only 5 hours from me, man. Remember, 5 hours.
I know. Come on down.
I'd love to, man. That'd be awesome. I can get there in 5 hours. But anyways, you got me thinking now, because you're at a really cool resort. You're at a cool resort too. I love that place. So it's like, top of the line there, man. That's awesome. So anyway, what big things are you looking for in the game? I mean, we talked about the D-line. We talked about Kansas City speed. What is just maybe a hidden factor that not a lot of people are talking about, that's like, or a player, I'm like, this person can make the difference that nobody's talking about?
I would say the player that could make the difference is probably going to be Hardman. A lot of people are talking about Hill, talking about Travis Kelce, talking about Patrick Mahomes. But, Hardman is a good, very energetic, very fast slot receiver, punt returner, kick returner. So he really and truly can make a huge difference for them. But he has to make sure that he does what he needs to do and doesn't try to do too much. Don't try to go overboard. Don't try to get too much out of line. Just stay in your lane, do your job, do what you have to do, and go from there.
So I didn't look at the inactives or anything that they got so far. Le'Veon Bell in?
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
He might be an X factor. He's kind of just been quiet all year, just kind of there. I mean, I don't know. He's got the ability to take over a game if he needs to. So.
Yeah,
there could be something there. There could be something there.
No, I mean, Bell's not like, he's not the type of player anymore. I mean, I'm not gonna say he's washed up, but he's not the force he once was 5 years ago. I mean, running backs aren't built like that. Like, you tell me a running back that's got a huge long-term contract. Show me one, because you don't see it. You very rarely see those. I mean, I think the longest they get is like 4 years. Some guys not only see 5 that often. I really, really don't. It's more like 4 years for running backs because they take such a pounding with their knees and they just don't last long. I mean, there's very few guys like Marshawn Lynch. There's almost no guys like, Derrick Henry that are that size that can take the pounding and then all that type of stuff. But I worry about Derrick Henry. Will he become like Earl Campbell, who is a phenomenal running back? But God knows Mr. Campbell, who I've met, can't really walk efficiently. It has trouble, all the different stuff. The bus and I have a very similar contact. She helps him with like his foundation. Her name is Beth, phenomenal lady. But I know about Jerome from can't walk downstairs. I mean, like that's the type of player Henry is. So I'm hoping that he doesn't end up with off the field, after his career problems like that. But most running backs are not designed to be super effective past like a 5 to maybe 6, 7 year mark.
I was just thinking about him on swing passes and screen passes because Kansas City runs a lot of them, so I was looking more on that aspect. But what do you think of Antonio Brown? Been kind of quiet.
Antonio Brown's a good player.
It's been quiet this year. So can he be that X factor maybe?
Yeah, Brown's is a good football player, but again, his speed is not what it once was, right? Hartman's young. He is super explosive. He is on the field all the time. Like I said, punt returning, kick returning, slot, misdirection, flea flickers, all those things are designed for Hartman and Hill because they're young guns and they're super fast and they're super elusive. I was actually with Vernon Fox yesterday. I'm actually going to see him here in a minute. We're speaking on a panel today for this event in Vegas. And he was talking about a lot of guys play off of Hill because they're afraid of getting burnt, but they give him like a 10-yard window, like a cushion. He gets the ball, and then he can shake you. He's very elusive, and he takes a 10-yard pass, turns into a 60-yard play.
Yep.
So it's huge in that regard.
It is, and so you almost have to double team him. So that's going to leave somebody else one-on-one. That's what the dangerous is because of their speed at receiver. I mean, it's just you don't win either way. That's the problem. You just got to hope Patrick Mahomes off on his throat.
That's what happened with Buffalo. I mean, Travis Kelce was always wide open underneath. I mean, that was the problem with Buffalo. They couldn't get off the field on third down. They just could not get off the field. There was like 3rd and 17. They got it first. 3rd and 12. You cannot beat the Chiefs if you can't get off the field on third down. And it all starts with pass rush.
And you can't leave a spy really on Patrick Mahomes because you need that extra person in coverage. But then at the same time, he can run for a first down.
Correct.
It's oh man, it's like
that's the problem. Like look at the Bucs, right? Sorry, Stacey. Tom Brady is 43. You don't worry about Tom Brady running. Hey, what's up, Ken? You don't worry about Tom Brady beating you for like a 12, 13-yard run anymore, right? You don't worry about that. You don't worry about Rob Gronkowski, taking it, 50, 60 yards like he did 5, 6 years ago on a short under pass. You don't have that. You don't worry about Antonio Brown burning you deep anymore. Like that's the problem you have with the Bucs. They don't have Godwin's good, but he's not a super burner. They don't have a lot of burners on. I mean, look at Fournette. Not good player. But Fournette's not gonna run for 60 yards like he used to 5, 6 years ago. So that's the problem with the Bucs is that everything they have on offense, while explosive, is designed for like 40 yards and under. Right? That's what it is. You take the Chiefs. You got Hill. You got Hartman. You got Mahomes, who can run for who's exceptionally fast. Who can get out of the pocket if necessary. You've got a young running back who's phenomenal for them. He's a rookie doing phenomenal things.
Oh, absolutely.
Kelce still has above average speed for him. Well, he's got great speed for his size. But he's got above average speed for tight end and at his age. So they can take and that's how they beat Buffalo, of course, on top of like Buffalo not getting pressure. Everything that they did, like that Harmon end around went for like 60 yards. Tyreek Hill took a 10-yard out, turned to almost a 60. He did it twice. Almost a 60-yard game, almost a 40-yard game. Right? I mean, that's what happens with these players. So that's the problem. But you don't want to play up because you're going to get beat deep. But if you give them too much space, they can elude you. So the only way I feel the Bucs can really win, right, is clock possession. They keep the ball in the hands and they drive the field and they convert at least 60% of their third downs, and then they need to rush for at least 150 yards on offense.
I think that's a great point right there and they got a quarterback who is willing to do stuff like that. Tom Brady will take the 3-4 yard pass instead of trying to go deep and get the explosive play every time. I mean, he's great at just moving the chains and draining the clock. So that's going to be interesting to see how they do it on offense. So then it comes down to, on both sides, are you going to bring an extra guy every time coming in? Especially maybe Tampa Bay, just for the fact you got a couple linemen out. If they're not getting that huge rush, do they have to bring an extra defender coming after Mahomes? And that's going to leave the middle wide open, like you said, for Travis Kelce and everything, just to get that middle part there. So it's going to be an interesting chess match, I mean,
it is. And I also give the advantage to the Chiefs when it comes to the coaching. I mean, Bruce Arians came off of his tree. He came off of Andy Reid's tree. And Byron Leftwich is a phenomenal OC. He's my old teammate. We're from DC together. Same year. The year he went to I went to Howard. He went to Marshall. Drafted together, Jaguars. Great player. He's going to be a great head coach in the National Football League. Like I say, within the next 2 years. But the problem he has is his gun, who is the GOAT, is just not designed. I mean, when you get to that age, and that's nothing against Tom, that's just age. Yeah. I mean, I can't run the same today as I was 21, 22. It's not designed that way. Mm-hmm. So he has to understand that. But again, the Chiefs do have a very good D-line, and they are well coached, and they know how to mix things up. And that's what happened with the Bills, all the games that they won. They got a ton of pressure. They were very good at mixed direction. They were very good at kind of disguising a lot of the different things. And, Cleveland gave them a really good game. They really did. And Cleveland did a really good job of converting third downs and really running the football well. Again, that's anybody that beats the Bucs has to run the football for at least 150 yards. If you don't run it for that much, then you're going to literally put a lot of pressure on your quarterback and your offensive line to convert on third downs, third and medium or longer, like 3rd and 5 or longer. If that keeps happening consistently, then eventually, it's not going to work.
I love you brought up the offense coordinator. Byron Leftwich is going to be a coach. Other side, Eric Bieniemy. He's going to be a coach here soon.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Yeah, two amazing offensive coordinators who deserve a shot at a head coaching job.
Absolutely they do. Absolutely they do. And I don't care about their race. I care about they win. Like the Chiefs have been winning. Oh yeah, and the Chiefs have been winning. They've just been staying winning. And Tampa, again, finally Byron had a great. Of course, he's the GOAT, but he had a great person that could see the field strategy-wise and could tactically execute the plays, and that's why they're having success.
Oh, I tell you what, Byron, watching him in college, my God, he was a man among boys, man. It was insane when he played at Marshall, what he did. But really quick, I think you're right on the coaching. I would give it to Andy Reid, not because I'm biased because Arians coached against the Seahawks for so long, but I just think servant leadership styles. And I look at that and I'll tell a really quick story. And Arizona and Seattle played an overtime game years back where 6-6, both kickers were just missing field goals left and right to win the game. And the press conference after the game, Arians comes up, he's a kicker. It's his job. We might cut him next week. And then, like Pete Carroll would come up and say, he's our guy. We love him. We're going to work this out. And when I kind of heard the difference, I was like, I understand it's a business. I understand that. But like what you do, when you do your keynotes and everything, you got to learn how to pump people up. You got to learn how to be on their side, know you got their back, even in the bad times. So that was just interesting. That's always stuck out to me. It's just like, I know you're in the heat of the moment. I know this is a business. There's a lot going on, but you got to keep your head cool at sometimes too. So that's kind of my little with that, but it is what it is. I've never been in an NFL locker room, so who knows? So I know it's a little different behind the camera with the doors closed,
brother. That's all good though.
Yeah. But hey, man. So you got Kansas City. I'm pushing towards Kansas City, but it wouldn't surprise me if Tampa Bay pulled it out. But I just don't feel it. I just don't really feel it. But I think if they do, Tom Brady, Gronkowski, boom, they're riding their horse out of there, man. They're leaving on the high note. I really do think that. So
I don't know. I think that's an interesting one. I'll tell you more about it after the game. I don't think so. I think if he wins, I think he comes back. I think he still comes back. That's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong. Yeah. I think if he wins, he still comes back. But we'll find out on Sunday.
He just has that inner it's just amazing. The dude does not want to stop. And here's the thing is I've talked to some other former players, and you're probably the same way. It's such a unity when you're playing together and you're with your teammates and all that stuff. Sometimes it's hard to leave that because that's all you know. That's all he knows for the last 21 years.
Of course, it's hard to leave that. Of course it is. Nobody wants to leave that. And then, you have to go out and face, I don't say the real world, but you have to face life without your teammates. So it's not the same thing. There's no locker room. There's no jokes. There's no practice. There's none of that. So absolutely, it's hard to leave that for sure.
Yeah, man. I know you got to get going. I'm so happy you were able to jump on today and talk a little bit about this. For me, this is great. I love football to death. People who really know me know it was my life growing up. It kept me out of trouble. It just, and I was, pretty good at it in high school. So that was really cool, and I enjoy the aspect of, like you just said, the camaraderie with the teammates. And even though it was just in high school, we had it. We did everything together. So I can only imagine the level at college and the NFL, what that's at, it just increasingly gets better each way, each time.
It does. It gets a lot harder each way, but it's a lot more team oriented stuff for sure each way, without a doubt.
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing I do say. He's in his 10th Super Bowl, and this is the 55th Super Bowl. It's just insane.
Phenomenal. It's great. I mean,
championship games and won 10 of them. God,
he's the GOAT. He's the GOAT. So I'm not, I never will say that, but I just think it's too much firepower with the Chiefs at this time.
Yeah, it's all that avocado ice cream, Marcus. That's the key to it all.
Yep.
That's what he does, man. So, hey, man. Thanks for being on, man. I really appreciate it. I know you got a lot going on. Good luck.
Man. I'm just glad I bought a new laptop, brought it with me because it's just nice to have it. I did a speaking job on Thursday for a client. Had a lot of my sales calls. I did this podcast. I was able to plan, and like I said, I've got to meet the client shortly and go out to the house. We're doing like a panel today talking about how sports and football, how sports and business really have a lot of commonality. And it's going to be a lot of different people, very successful people. So excited about networking and all that stuff. And then we're riding all this at the Doom Bugs and all that stuff tomorrow. So you'll see some pictures tomorrow from the event today.
Hey, I'll text you a little later, and maybe we can do a quick live early next week, a recap of the game. Doesn't have to be
I get back home Monday night, and I'll be back to work on Tuesday.
Awesome, man. Cool. Hey, guys, next week on the All Things Gratitude podcast, a guy named Goody. If you don't follow him on Instagram. He has 1.2 million followers on TikTok. So this is going to be interesting to see what an influencer has to come on the show and say. So, hey, Marcus, awesome, man. Thank you so much. Hey, Super Bowl tomorrow, man. Enjoy it.
Text me during the game. Let me know your thoughts.
Okay, cool, man. I'll give you my football strategy. No,
I'm always up to learn, brother. I'm always up to learn.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to learn from you, man. So awesome, brother. Well, have a great day, man. Enjoy everything. Enjoy your clients and enjoy tomorrow, man.
All right, talk to you later, Nick.
Okay, take it easy.